As I look back over my life, I have begun to realize that I have reached a lot of milestones. Some were passing exams, others achieving a personal goal in a hobby-related activity. But I think the major milestone in my life was when I took the major step and chose to come out to my mother and tell her about my secret desire. So if I may, I'd like to take you back on a little journey. It was the year I turned 18. I was at college and living at home. Even from my bedroom on the top floor of our Victorian townhouse, I could hear the front door close. It was an ancient door and had to close with a hard pull. It sounded as if you were slamming the door, but it was the only way you could get the door to shut. That meant my stepfather had left on his trip. And with my sisters away, I was alone in the house with my mother. I put down the book I was reading and went to the top of the stairs and paused by the handrail. "Mom," I called out, "are you still here?" "I'm in the living room," she called back. "What do you want?" she answered as I made my way downstairs. I entered the living room and Mom put her magazine down and smiled as I entered the room. I took a breath and smiled back. "Can I have a quick word with you, Mom? I've got something I need to tell you." She looked at me. "By all means, Mike. What's up? You look like you're carrying all the problems of the world on your shoulders. So what do you have to tell me?" I sat down and leaned forward slightly. It's... I chewed my lip. "I want to be a girl, Mom." The words slipped from my mouth. I would like to be a girl. I don't know why. But I want to be a girl. Mom's eyes went wide with surprise. "Well, that explains why some of my clothes and some of your sisters appeared to have moved by themselves." Mom smiled. "So I suspect you've been experimenting whilst we've been out." She looked at me. "And I can see from your expression that you have." She paused. "Are you thinking about having a sex change? Or do you just want to dress as a girl occasionally?" She asked in quick succession. "I'm not sure, Mom," I answered honestly. "Occasionally at first, I think," I continued. "And then see how it goes from there." I fought back some tears. "I just want to be true to myself." Mom smiled. "Why didn't you come to me earlier with this?" she asked. "Don't tell me." She paused. "I think I understand why." She smiled. "I'm going to test you. Wait here. I'll call you when I'm ready." Mom left the living room and I was left to stew in my own thoughts. I wondered what my mother was planning. "Mike," Mom called from upstairs. "Come up to your room. I've got something for you." Nerves began to take over. Butterflies in my stomach started to rumble. But I fought them both back and made my way to my bedroom. I entered my room to find my mother waiting with a smile. On my bed she had laid out some of my sister's clothes and some underwear. In her hands she held a pair of shoes which I knew from experience would fit me. "I want you to get dressed. And when you're ready, come downstairs," Mom informed me. "We'll have a chat." She smiled. "And next time I'll get you made up and see what you look like with a wig." With that she turned and left my room. I paused looking at what she had left me. I took a very deep breath and started to strip. I folded my male clothes up and placed them on the chair by my desk. And I started to get dressed. I tucked my boy bits away as I gently stepped into the panty brief my mother had provided. The bra followed and I struggled with the strap, but I finally fitted it so it was comfortable. I gently stuffed the cups of the bra to give me a modest bosom. The tights and a half slip followed. I stepped into the ankle-length green peasant-style skirt and slipped the gypsy-style top over my head. Taking a look in my room's mirror, I saw a teenage girl with a crew cut look back. Finally slipping on the shoes, I took another look. And with a gentle swirl of my skirt, I left my room and went downstairs to see my mother. The heels clicked reassuringly against the wooden floor as I entered the kitchen, where I saw Mom filling the kettle. She smiled when she saw me and told me to sit down. I sat at the kitchen table, absently sweeping the skirt under me and keeping my knees together. Mom chuckled as I thought she hadn't noticed. "I see you've been practicing your feminine mannerisms." She grinned. "If you're going to dress as a girl, you'll have to remember to act like one." She made a pot of tea, poured us both a mug, and sat down opposite me. I took a gentle sip of tea. "To be honest," Mom said, breaking the silence, "I prefer you as a boy, Mike. But tell me honestly." She looked right at me. "Tell me how you feel. How do the clothes you're wearing feel?" I put my mug down and looked up at my mother. "I feel right, Mom. It's hard to explain, but I feel right." I took another sip of my tea. "And the clothes feel comfortable. And I'm including the shoes." Mom giggled. "Having you wear those shoes was a test." She sipped her tea. "Which you passed." She looked at me with a warm smile. "Now I can't call you Mike dressed as you are. Do you have a girl's name? Or would you like me to give you your name?" I paused. "To be honest, Mom." I chewed my lip again. "I don't. I haven't really thought that far." "Then I shall call you Mickey," she said with meaning. "It's the name we called your grandmother. So I don't think she'd mind if you also have it." She sipped her tea. "Do you like it?" I smiled. "I think it's wonderful, Mom." I looked at her. "I do like the sound of Mickey." My smile broadened. "You can even use it when I'm in boy mode." "Why do you think I picked it?" Mom answered. "I know you're called Mickey by your sister." I cringed slightly. My sister Judy only called me that to annoy me. But I knew I would have to hide my smiles now. "So Mickey," Mom said, "we've a few hours till your sister gets home. You can remain dressed as you are, but when I tell you to get changed, you do so." "Okay, Mom," I answered. "Do you want me to do anything?" Mom smiled. "You could help with some of the cleaning. And help prepare dinner." She got up. "I'll find you an apron so you don't get your blouse dirty." We did all the cleaning. I helped prepare our evening meal, all the while acting and learning to be the girl I wanted to be. We were having another cup of tea when Mom informed me, "I'm taking you shopping tomorrow. I'm going to get my new daughter some clothes of her own." We did go shopping. And we bought a small selection of clothes which would be mine. And I would be able to slip them in the wash with my sister being none the wiser. But it was the following Saturday that really stands out. Once again my mother and I were alone in the house. My sister was away at a festival with her friends. And my stepfather had yet to return from his trip. "Mickey!" Mom called. "It's time. I'm in my bedroom." I understood what she meant and I got myself dressed. My boy clothes once again sat on my desk chair. And I got dressed as Mickey. I wore a light beige roll neck jumper with a blue pleated knee-length skirt along with some tan-colored tights. A pair of blue 2-inch heeled court shoes completed my ensemble. I went downstairs to Mom's bedroom. Mom was wearing her business skirt and blouse. This really surprised me, as she usually wore jeans and a t-shirt on a Saturday. But for the moment in hand, I brushed it to the back of my mind. "I see the fillers work better than socks," Mom joked as I came into her room. And you're handling those heels well. She smiled. Now come and sit down. She patted her dressing stool. Let me work my magic and make you pretty. Mom set to work. All the sensations were new to me. The brushes against my skin, the slight feeling of the foundation and powder. The gentle touch of the mascara brush. The slight taste of the lipstick on my lips. She then placed an auburn shoulder-length wig over my shoulders and brushed it out. She then proceeded to shape my fingernails into soft rounded edges. A covering of polish to match my lipstick followed. Take a look at the new you, Mickey, she said with a smile. What do you think? I was speechless. I was lost for words. I looked at the young woman in the mirror, and as I smiled, she smiled back. Wow. The word slipped softly from my lips. I look like Aunt Julia. A little younger, but I look like Aunt Julia. I looked at Mom. Thank you, Mom. You've made me look amazing. If you're going to be my daughter, you're going to do this properly. I'll help as much as I can, she smiled. You're going to be Mickey for the weekend, she said in a matter-of-fact way. You're going meet some people I know. I went white under my makeup. But Mom, I pleaded. I don't think. Mickey, Mom said with a calm voice. When you came in, you were walking in those heels like you have always worn them. Looking at you now, I can see only a young lady. Not my son. She paused. Please indulge me. I always found it hard to say no to my mother. And I had let the genie out of the bottle by telling her I wanted to be a girl. Okay, Mom, I said with a weak smile. I'll meet your friends. Mom smiled. I'll find you a jacket and a handbag, then we'll be off. When she handed me a handbag, my handbag, I found it contained everything a woman carries in there. Some makeup to make any running repairs, a purse, my house keys, tissues, and some other women's products. Soon I was walking beside my mother as we headed towards her friend Jennifer's house. I realized I was meeting her book group. And I took a deep breath as each of the members knew me as Mike. I was about to meet them as Mickey. Jennifer was all smiles as I was introduced to her. She led us to the drawing room where I was introduced to the rest of the book group. Mickey, Jennifer said. Have you read From Man to Woman? She asked. It's the book we've all been reading. The book by Maria Wisniewska? I asked in reply. Yes, I have, I answered truthfully. It's very interesting. Honest and, from what I understand, truthful book of one person's difficult journey. I had read it. Mom had a habit of leaving her books lying around. So I started to read it as well. Always putting it back where I found it. Mom smiled as she realized that I was telling the truth. I smiled back, wondering if she was testing me. She gave me a slight wink and nodded. If I can be honest, I said. Of course, Mickey, Jennifer replied. We like our members to be honest. No one will judge you. Thank you. I looked around. Because I hope to take a similar journey to the one Maria has taken. I paused. I might not have guessed. Hold that thought, Mickey. Jennifer smiled broadly. I suspected something was amiss. She got me to stand up. It appears Kristen has pulled the wool over our eyes. She grinned. Because this beautiful girl is actually Mike, her son. She got me to give them a twirl. And I think she looks fantastic. Mrs. Wood asked, so you're going to become a woman, Mickey? She smiled. I wish you well on your journey. The other members all smiled in agreement. I had the feeling I'd been set up and looked at my mother. Who grinned in response to my unasked question. Jennifer hugged me. Welcome to the group, kiddo. And welcome to the sisterhood. You've no need to hide anymore, she stood back. Now you're not to cry. You'll ruin your makeup. I had been accepted as a woman by women. I was a little puzzled. But another member of the group spoke up. We picked from man to woman because your mother suspected that you had been into her and your sister's clothes. And she wanted to understand the reason why. Jennifer added, and we agreed. Because she knew you'd come out to her one day. And you needed a test to see if you were serious. She paused. Honey, you've passed. I was unsure what to say. But Miss James suggested we go out and not hang around indoors. Everyone else agreed. Are you ready for an adventure, Mickey? Jennifer asked. Because you're about to have a lesson in Girl 101. I nodded that I was ready. If I was going to take this path, I had to show commitment. The day was spent shopping. With lunch at a bistro. No one read me as a boy dressed as a girl. No one challenged me about my true gender. And I made some wonderful older friends. And the following morning, when I came down to breakfast, Mom smiled as I had done my own makeup. I had started my journey.